Do you feel like you're still getting started? It has been 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and it still feels like you're getting started? Well, welcome to Clear Shift Solutions. My name is Pam Grace, and I am inviting you to another episode. And I actually want to say this is going to be a 4-part series. So this is just not going to be a traditional a segment where I'm sharing different information. I'm going to create a 4-part series. So this is going to be part 1. And this episode is called From Stuck to Scaling. Okay. And so I know it's been a couple weeks. I've been behind the scenes in the field doing consultations, reviewing businesses, talking to dozens of agencies in Maryland. And what I've seen is some non-negotiables. And I just want to get really honest in these 4 segments with you guys and just really kind of pull back the layers on some things that I feel like perhaps are not talked about as often in this RSA and healthcare space, okay? So if you're that person who said, man, I have this dream, I've had this dream for 20 years, I've had this dream however long, right? And you still feel like you're in the dreaming stage and you're not living in the dream, I want us to really kind of get honest as to why. So it's been 3 to 5 years and you're still saying you're getting started. Perhaps you're not just getting started, you're avoiding. Yes, let that sink in. You're avoiding. You did not register this LLC or nonprofit, or perhaps you're incorporated just to live in the echoes of guessing through payroll or guessing what I should post on Indeed every 2 weeks when there's no shows, right? You didn't get into business to be guessing your way through it, okay? Guessing is not successful, baby. You need a strategy. And so you started a business to build a business, and that business requires systems, clients, income, and an infrastructure. The SBA says that 50% of small businesses fail by year 5. Home Care Plus says and reports 6% of small businesses, in particular small home care agencies, can't scale past 10 clients. So if you're in that 0 to 10, this status for you. Okay, 60%. That's more than half of RSAs. Half of home care agencies cannot scale past 10, guys. There is a reason why you may be feeling stuck in your business. Okay, and it's a time to get honest and look at your operations. Also, you have some people that are stuck at, under 25, clients, right? And they're trying to scale to 50. At every point, you may feel a stagnation or feeling stuck, right? And at that time that you're feeling stuck for an extended period of time is that moment where you need to stop and really look at the weeds of your business and identify what are the barriers. I'm sure there's more than one that is preventing you, that is preventing the motion to take place in your business, okay? Because you want there to be a flow, all right? So what real business looks like? It is active revenue and a client load. It is staff onboarded, trained, and paid. It is payroll and HR compliance. It is ongoing marketing. It is repeatable systems, right? For recruiting, for your business operations. There has to be systems that people are utilizing every day, similar to like a well-oiled machine, okay? Documented SOPs, so standard operating procedures, performance reviews, okay? If your business does not have these elements actively, then perhaps you're not really running a business, okay? If your systems can't handle 3 people, they can't handle 30, right? And so when you're thinking about systems, if you don't trust your infrastructure, if you don't have an infrastructure, if you haven't made time to really test your infrastructure and then improve it, then you're not positioning yourself for success and you're not positioning yourself for scale. Okay? Success in one season may not be success in the other season. And so you want to make sure that you have a system that you can trust, or you're going to burn out before you grow. And burnout is real. Burnout is real. And so you don't understand what you don't invest in. Let me make that clear again. You don't understand what you don't invest in. Okay? When there is an investment, psychologically, there's also this engagement or commitment, right? To be involved, to know what's going on, to engage in whatever way that means. And so if you are hands off, that means you're also limiting your level of growth and understanding in certain areas, right? Your level of development as a leader, as a business owner. And so investment is typically tied to your money, to your time, right? And to any other resources that may be necessary for that investment. Okay. And so you not only want to be an investor, but you want to be a wise investor, and you want to invest often. Okay. So what most businesses don't understand, okay, is that HR is there so you can avoid. Let me reframe that. HR is so that they can avoid it, right? So meaning if some businesses don't invest in HR, so they avoid it. They don't invest in compliance, so they risk it. They don't invest in sales, so they chase clients. They don't invest in marketing, so they ignore it. They don't invest in leadership, so their team doesn't follow, right? So there are cause and effect aspects to your lack of investment and also the quality of investment. Okay. And the quality of investment should be aligned with your business objectives, right? So I don't know how often you're doing your business objectives as a company and how often you're assessing performance as a company and also performance of your personnel and your vendors, etc. But your business objectives or your company goals should help you identify then what you're investing in, right? Because you want to reach those goals, right? And so I've talked to business owners that just throws goals out the air. And I'm like, where does goal come from? And you just pulling numbers out the sky. But then you have zero infrastructure to support the goal that you have. And so how are we getting there if there is no plan, no structure, no investment, and not a one-time, ongoing investment? Because you have to understand it's a staircase, right? So let's say you have a goal of reaching 7 figures, right? $1 million in revenue as a business. Then you're going to need investment at a zero starting. You're going to need a certain kind of investment at 100,000. You're going to need a certain kind of investment at 250. You're going to need a different kind of investment as a $500,000 business. You're going to need another investment at, again, at 750. Another investment at $1 million. So now you're at the bottom, beginning of 7 figures. So now you want to go from $1 million company to now maybe $5 million company. From that 1 to 5, there is series of investments that have to be made on an ongoing basis, and not just one, a diversified strategy of investments, and then testing, and then making adjustments ongoing, right? And so what I'm saying is that this business is alive, okay? If it is stuck or if you're not moving, it's kind of dead, and you need to resuscitate it, okay? And bring it back to life. But in order for it to come back alive, there has to be movement. Okay. And you guys can kind of correlate it to healthcare and into our body. If we just stop moving and don't do anything for a period of time, our body loses, mobility, right? Muscle memory gone, right? And so that's the same thing that happens with your business, guys. And so if there is a lack of movement, if there's a lack of investment, I want you to understand that you are not positioning yourself to scale. And I have to be honest with you guys, okay? Because y'all have some audacious dreams. And trust me, these goals can become a reality, but they cannot become a reality without a strong system, without a strong business infrastructure, without strong operations, without a strong team, without strong leadership, without strong finances, right? Without strong compliance. Like, all aspects of your business have to be strong, okay? So I want to share another statistic. Structured onboarding increases retention by 82% and productivity by 70%. Okay, this is a stat from Glassdoor. So that means if you guys are out here recruiting people and they say yes, first of all, let me go back. Just as much as you're recruiting them, they're recruiting you, right? Meaning they're interviewing you. Is this the employer of choice that I want to be a part of, right? Mind you, they're not just looking at you; they're looking at other employers as well, and they have experiences to compare. So when somebody is putting your business across other business owners in your area, and they're now going through the hiring and recruitment process, trust me, there's one that's going to stand out. And the one that typically stand out is they have a smooth process. They have a really smooth process. People know what they're doing. Everyone is friendly. There's no guessing. There is a structure. The same way children thrive off structure, people thrive off of structure, right? Businesses thrive off of structure. Structure is essential. And guys, I'm stressing this point so much because I want it to hit home to you guys. And I want you, as I am speaking, for you to get honest with yourself and with your business and like, ooh, do I have areas of opportunity? And then also, I encourage you, look at yourself as an employee. When you have gone out and submitted your resume in the job market and you're getting responses and now you're engaging with employers, what type of engagement are you looking for? When you're hired on, what type of onboarding experience are you expecting? Right? Even if that employer is remote, there still should be a proper onboarding process so that employee can get acclimated into your company culture, acclimated to your system, acclimated to the leadership and organizational structure, right? Do they even know the org chart or the leadership and who they should be going for what, right? Where certain things are, right? There should be a structure, guys. Right? What are the metrics for success? What does success look like? How do I know if I'm performing? What if I'm struggling? Like, who is HR? Like, all these things, guys, have to be determined. And so I have seen time and time again, an agency will turn around and put a job online. They'll get someone. They'll say, okay, we just need CPR first aid, TB test, do this background check, and you're on the job. You're on a job, and they will place them to cases, guys. I'm telling you, that will hurt your business, because also you have to look at your staff is also your marketing team. Anybody that is under your business is an extension of your company, especially if they're interacting with clients. Any person is considered a third party, so outside of your bubble. If they are engaging with vendors, if they're engaging with clients, they're your marketing team. If they're on the phone, they're engaging with people. They're your marketing team, right? Your rep. Your marketing team got to be tight. They got to be tight, and they're a reflection of you. So whatever is and isn't happening in your business is also what's going on in the field. Okay, and that could be tied directly to revenue, right? So yeah, I'm not stuck on that for a long time, but I want to read this stat again. Structured onboarding process increases retention. So not just recruitment, getting them in the door, but keeping them by 82%. That is a huge stat that you need to know. So that means you need to invest in your onboarding process so you don't have this ongoing turnover. Okay. And you also may need to do what they call, in a lot of sales companies, they'll mystery shop, right? That they will go ahead and basically, I don't want to use the word pretend, but they'll go ahead and basically interview or experience other people's businesses to see where they're performing well, and also where they're underperforming, right? And so perhaps incorporating some of that mystery shop so you can really kind of see what's going on out there and what that experience look like, because that would give you good insight. You need to have a pulse of what's going on, not only in your industry at large, but also what is going on in your industry locally, right? Legislatively, but then also the client experience and this and that. You need to stay on the pulse, guys. Things are changing and changing rapidly. Okay. So I encourage that. Also, structured onboarding, again, improves productivity by 70%. Okay? Increases productivity by 70%. Productivity is directly correlated to the money. Okay? To the money. So I have to definitely let you guys know that. So stop resisting what your business needs. If you want to be in business for real, act like it. Or is this just a hobby? Are you in business or do you have a hobby? You determine what it is. But if you're in business, then act like it. Okay? So stop resisting what your business needs. Every week, you wait to fix operations, right? And this is perhaps you, maybe you. Maybe every week you're waiting to fix operations, right? There's loss of money, maybe momentum, maybe morale, right? Don't resist, guys. Also be on the pulse of your business. Know what's going on. Know the needs of your business, okay? Growth requires audits, metrics, data analytics. If you are not measuring, what are you doing? If you're not measuring, what are you doing? Growth requires audits, okay? You have to go ahead and see what's going on, right? It requires key performance indicators, KPIs. It requires gap reviews, okay? It requires automation. It requires delegation, okay? And so you may or may not be skilled in all these areas, and that's okay. But you need to fill in the gaps. Do the gap reviews. Where are the holes? Where's the risk? Where's the opportunity? And fill in the blanks. Okay? You can't wish your way to 7 figures. You can't wish your way. Okay? You cannot wish your way to 8, 9, 10, and beyond. Okay? You have to build it. That plan, you got to work that plan. You cannot just buy a policy and submit it to the Office of Healthcare Quality. Year later, get your license and be like, woo, I'm ready for business. And you're not. Okay? Do you know how many agencies got a license? Do you know how many people have a license? And not just one license, multiple license. And if you look at the activity in those businesses per license, a lot of them are inactive. Okay? And so there's a different type of investment that goes from, okay, cool, I invested to get my policies and procedures, right? I invested in that entire process, whatever, made adjustments, did the provisional, whatever, got my full license. Boom, license in hand, new investment. You're now able to operate a business. Are you ready? Okay. If you've been holding a license for 5 years and you don't have 10 clients, 20 clients, 50 clients, something is wrong. Okay? Something is wrong. You got to get honest. And you got to make a decision. Like, am I playing? Is this a hobby? Or am I in business? For real. For real. Okay? Okay, I have to restate it again. You cannot wish your way to 7 figures. You must build it. If you want to work with a team that's going to help you get to where you need to go, you need to book your consultation. You need to book your consultation. It's a free consultation. We're going to ask you some questions. Our consultation is geared around HR, so compliance, benefits, ops, but there's a suite of other things that we can do for you as well. So getting really clear about your business needs and getting really clear about your business goals will really help move the conversation forward, okay? We do have 3 different types of packages, but then outside of that, we do have other packages as well that we can kind of, if we need to, customize something. All right. So come ready. We got another episode lined up on the same series. Okay. And we're talking about infrastructure and whether you can handle the growth that you want. Visit us at ClearShift Solutions. Book your free consultation, guys. And when you book this consultation, come ready. Okay, I want to speak with people that are ready to make an investment. And so if you're on the fence and you're not sure what you want to do, keep thinking about it. But I want to spend time with people, even on a consultation, that when they walk out of there, they feel like, okay, time well spent. And then they got some value and they were able to kind of look at their business differently. Okay, guys, I cannot stress that enough because time is valuable, yes. But yeah, I just kind of want to say that and be honest with you guys. We love to talk with you, but we know that time matters. So just come with a pure intention and come ready because we're ready to work. Okay. All right. Don't forget, it's time for a clear shift. Talk to you later.